Michael Turner had always believed that love was built on trust. For 15 years, he devoted himself to his wife, Jessica, and their little girl, Lily. Their suburban Dallas home wasn't a mansion, but it was filled with warmth, laughter, and the countless snapshots of family milestones. Birthday balloons taped to walls, Christmas stockings hanging unevenly on the fireplace, and messy art projects scattered on the fridge. Michael worked as an engineer, often staying late at the office or bringing projects home. He wasn't chasing glory. He was chasing security. Every overtime hour meant savings for Lily's college fund, a family vacation, or paying off the mortgage faster. He wore exhaustion like a badge of honor, believing that providing was his greatest proof of love. Jessica, however, had grown restless in that rhythm of life. She had once admired Michael's steadiness, but over time, the stability that anchored their marriage began to feel like a cage. The candlelight dinners of their early years had been replaced by takeout boxes and TV reruns. Where Michael saw responsibility, Jessica saw boredom. Her discontent first appeared subtly. More nights out with the girls, longer hours at the office, sudden bursts of interest in new hobbies and book clubs Michael had never heard her mention before. He noticed, but brushed it aside. He trusted her. Jessica had always been the vibrant one, the social butterfly. He told himself she deserved that freedom. After all, he was the steady one, the provider. But that trust cracked one ordinary Tuesday evening. Michael had left work early after a canceled meeting, eager to surprise Jessica with dinner. Walking into the quiet house, he noticed Jessica's phone buzzing on the kitchen counter. Normally, he wouldn't have glanced at it. But this time, curiosity got the better of him. The screen lit up with a message preview that froze his heart. "I can't wait to see you tonight, babe. We'll celebrate when you finally leave him." The message was signed with a heart emoji and a name, Eric. Michael's stomach dropped. Eric wasn't a stranger. He was Jessica's co-worker. The man Michael had shaken hands with at company parties. The one who had charmed guests with his easy smile. The betrayal wasn't just personal. It was public. Michael paced the room, his hands trembling. When Jessica returned home that night, he confronted her. At first, she denied it, weaving excuses with an almost practiced ease. But when Michael read the message aloud, her mask cracked. Tears came, not of guilt, but of frustration. "I needed more, Michael," she snapped. "You were never there. Eric listens to me. He makes me feel alive again." Her confession shattered him. The woman he had built his life with, the mother of his child, had already chosen another man. Within a week, Jessica filed for divorce. But instead of showing remorse, she flaunted her new relationship. Social media lit up with photos of Jessica and Eric at restaurants, kissing on park benches, laughing as if the destruction of her marriage was a cause for celebration. Friends whispered, family shook their heads, and Michael endured it all in silence. He refused to lash out online, refused to degrade himself in public. His only focus was Lily. Every night, as he tucked her into bed, he reminded himself that she deserved stability, even if her mother had traded hers for temporary thrills. Yet deep down, Michael knew the day would come when he and Jessica would face each other. Not in their home, not in whispers behind closed doors, but in a courtroom where the truth would finally matter. And on that day, he vowed, he would no longer be silent. The courthouse in downtown Dallas was buzzing with people that morning. Lawyers carrying heavy briefcases, couples waiting anxiously for hearings, clerks shuffling papers. To Michael Turner, the building felt like the stage where the last act of his marriage would unfold. He sat in the hallway outside the courtroom, his navy suit pressed, his posture upright, his hands clasped tightly. Inside, he was a storm of nerves, but on the surface, he looked composed. When the bailiff called their case, Michael rose and walked in with his attorney. He took his seat quietly, his eyes scanning the room. He didn't have to wait long for Jessica. The doors opened, and she entered, arm in arm with Eric. Their laughter carried into the courtroom as if they were arriving at a comedy show rather than a hearing to dissolve a marriage. Jessica wore a bright red dress, her chin tilted upward with defiance. Eric strolled beside her, smirking, proud to play his role in the spectacle. Gasps and whispers spread among the few spectators in the room. Even the judge, a seasoned man with decades of family law behind him, lifted his brows at the sight. It was one thing to betray a spouse, It was another to flaunt the betrayal in front of the very court tasked with dividing the wreckage. Jessica's lawyer began. She painted Jessica as the neglected wife, the victim of Michael's long work hours. Her voice was smooth, rehearsed, laced with practiced sympathy. She claimed Jessica deserved half of everything: the house, Michael's retirement fund, and most painfully, custody of Lily. Eric sat smugly in the gallery, nodding as though each word was gospel. But then Michael's lawyer stood. Calm, measured, he placed a folder on the judge's desk and began to speak. "Your Honor, what we have here is not a story of neglect. It is a story of betrayal, documented, undeniable, and public." The folder opened, revealing months of evidence. Text messages between Jessica and Eric, photographs from nights they claimed were book clubs, and late office shifts, even social media posts Jessica had carelessly left public. The air in the courtroom shifted. Eric's smirk faltered, and Jessica's color drained. Then Michael rose to give his statement. His voice was low but firm, carrying weight in every syllable. "Your Honor," he began, "I gave everything I had to my family. I worked late nights not because I didn't care, but because I wanted to give my wife and daughter the life they deserved. I trusted Jessica with my heart, my home, and our child. That trust was broken. Not quietly, but publicly. Yet my concern is not revenge. It is Lily. She deserves a stable home, not one built on lies and selfishness." The courtroom fell silent. Even those who had entered expecting routine drama leaned forward, struck by the quiet power in his words. Jessica shifted uncomfortably, her earlier arrogance gone. The judge, unmoved by theatrics but deeply moved by truth, delivered his ruling. Michael would retain the house and most of his assets. More importantly, primary custody of Lily would remain with him, with Jessica granted visitation under structured terms. Jessica's jaw tightened in disbelief. She had walked into court laughing, certain of victory. Now she sat stunned, the smugness wiped from her face. Eric avoided her gaze, realizing the spotlight they had sought had burned them instead. Michael did not gloat. He didn't glance at Jessica, nor at Eric. He simply gathered his papers, stood tall, and left the courtroom hand in hand with Lily, who had been waiting outside with a relative. For Michael, the day wasn't about winning. It was about dignity, about truth, and about protecting the future of the only person who truly mattered, his daughter.